unrestricted content. And I think that is a really interesting way, kind of coinciding with crypto, because here we have like this ability to decentralize.
All right, y'all, we are live with the Blockchain Boy. Y'all, welcome back. Everybody tuning in, y'all. So Blockchain Boy, man, it's been a minute since me and you talked, bro. Your first time on the channel, bro. How you feeling, my man?
You know, dude, it's one of those times where, the bull market is kind of showing signs of life and everyone's rushing around. So it's been a very busy time for me, but I'm glad to have some time to sit down with you today. In my aunt's spare room. I'm currently visiting some family. And so we're literally trapping there's a sewing machine back there. So
nice.
We're very, very high quality setup tonight.
Nice. Love the sewing machine. And y'all, this is a live AMA. So y'all, please, if you got any questions for Blockchain Boy and I, just drop them in the comments. As always, y'all just be respectful to my guest and we'll answer live, so crazy stuff going on right now, Blockchain Boy, and I got to start with this, y'all. Y'all, check this out. I'm going to show y'all something that I saw this and I was like, wow, because I've been listening to Blockchain Boy for so long. And then boom, this happens. Blockchain Boy with Big Ron. I mean, I saw this, y'all. I saw this and I was like, what is going on? Like, are we in this alternate universe or something, Blockchain Boy? Where are you really talking crypto with Big Ron?
Yeah, man, I had to post up with Ron on the gram, bro. It's funny because that room we were at this like mansion in Fort Lauderdale. There's like 2 yachts docked 100 feet behind me. Whole room was full of VCs, political people, media. Was probably 100 degrees in that room, bro. We were sweating bullets. And so, I had to flick up with Ron. I was standing in between the lieutenant governor of Florida and the governor of Florida for like 2 hours. Like, it was fun. It was a good time. So, also, I see my community in the chat. What's up, Crypto Ralphie? What's up, Six Figs? Those are my dogs right there.
Yeah, what up, Crypto Ralphie? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, man, any questions, y'all, this is just going to be kind of a fun. We're going to be talking crypto, but any questions y'all got, Blockchain Boy, one thing that stuck out to me with you, I don't remember if I heard you say it on an episode or maybe it was in Arizona. You talked about, when you were in high school that like you told one of your teachers, like, yeah, I'm not worried about this. I'm going to be, big on social media. Like, so you kind of manifested your journey into content creation.
Well, content creation was kind of an accident. I never even planned for that shit, to be honest. Like, I was always kind of a crypto guy. I've always been a hustler, BD, entrepreneurship, that kind of stuff. Content was an accident. Like, I always told people in high school, like, I was literally aping into ICOs when I was like 16, 17. So, dude, we were really out here doing it. And I even have the receipts from all my old Telegram chats. So, very, very exciting time to be alive and to do it. But yeah, content creation was something I did accidentally. It was a way. It was honestly, I started it as a way to like look into marketing a startup that I was working on at the time, like an early version of Crypto Night, which was just supposed to be a trading indicator, but that never panned out. Although the TikTok thing blew up like crazy.
Yeah, so TikTok's a platform that I'm going to be jumping on, and I know that's kind of where you made your name. That's where you made your name stay in cryptos. You pretty much were one of the top content creators on TikTok, you and Joshua Jake.
Yeah, interestingly enough, no one was really doing much back in the day. Like when I got on TikTok, it was like me, Crypto Mason, Josh, like Wendy was there. Very few people who actually knew what they were talking about. Shout out to Crypto Dream for supporting the channel. My dog right there, one of my number ones. Shout out to his YouTube channel too, bro. He's out here doing it, putting in the hours. So back to what I was saying. When I started, bro, like there was nobody on here doing anything. It was a lot of misinformation. So I felt like I had to say something, and then that turned into a content creation career, because I was like, I'd never done like any kind of content before, aside from political streaming in 2020. That was about it.
Yeah. So, right now, whether it's content creation, where it's crypto, it just seems that we're at this kind of like a pivotal moment. I mean, you have, this whatever X is going to become, this total payment, streaming platform. And we are streaming this on X, Rumble, and YouTube right now. But then also at the same time, we're seeing, crypto. We got the spot ETF coming up. We got the Bitcoin halving coming up. So I see, you know, are we kind of perfectly positioning ourselves, you know, not just being investors in crypto, but in content creation? Is it like a perfect storm that's brewing maybe, or am I being overly optimistic?
Well, you know, as someone who works a lot of KOL campaigns and influencer promotions in the space on the back end, I gotta say I'm very bullish on. Shout out the XRD, the Radix fam up in the chat right now. I see you, Wookie, as well. Thanks for showing up, guys. I think content creation is in this like really interesting space where we're seeing a lot of mainstream media and mainstream, publications, content machines that have been going since, the 20th century that are starting to fail. And I think a lot of this can be focused on sort of Tucker Carlson's stepping away from Fox, if you want to put like a pivotal moment on it. It's been building for a while, but he proved that he can go on X.com and literally get hundreds of millions of more views than he would have if he was on Fox. So I'm very bullish on alternative media, partly because of the decentralization of the dissemination of information through platforms like X, like YouTube, but also because I think that most journalists are full of shit. They have an agenda. They're in the pocket of somebody. I'd much rather get my news from some guy on the ground on TikTok than I would, a mainstream media reporter.
Yeah, you know, these mainstream media, especially these big legacy companies, you know, their viewer, their ratings are in the toilet. And if you think about it, Blockchain Boy, if you go to the airport or the DMV, they're all playing CNN and MSNBC. So like, who's even watching this shit? Now, we know about Operation Mockingbird, that a lot of these, you know, institutions are actually, you know, governments, the military and stuff's infiltrating it to control the populace. So when you get to, you know, it's not just Tucker Carlson, you know, we've seen Alex Jones do it, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Patrick Bet-David, you know, create these, you know, what I call, you know, these alternative systems. And, you know, that kind of aligns perfectly with the value proposition of Bitcoin, right? This decentralized, this alternative system. So while I can have a grim outlook for the future of the country, at the same time, I think we are entering some type of digital renaissance. Like I think we're at a pivotal moment where we'll look back, like you said, that, you know, Tucker Carlson gets fired from Fox News and then grows even bigger. I mean, do you think that's what's happening?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, it comes down to like we're in this attention economy, and people don't really. No one has cable. Like, bro, like I don't have cable. Like I've never had cable except for when I was very young with my parents' house. Like no one is participating in like the system that they've set up for us because I think people are tired of it and they see alternative media as a way to get more, I guess, unrestricted content. And I think that is a really interesting way kind of coinciding with crypto because here we have like this ability to decentralize information, right, through something like the TikTok algorithm or whatever. And then you have this way to decentralize hard money, which is Bitcoin, which is the ability to transfer value from me to you using the blockchain. And so the axis of these two innovations has led, I think, to the creation of what could be the most robust media and information superhighway in the world because content's not free, and a lot of alternative content, like look at Andrew Tate, he's banned from literally everything. Like you can be an Andrew Tate fan, you can be an Andrew Tate hater, but you have to admit that there's a system in place to keep people from speaking their opinions. And we've seen, again, the whole cancel culture movement, but it goes even beyond that. When you can't open bank accounts, that's a serious thing, and he hasn't done anything worth having no bank accounts for.
Well, let's go back even further, Blockchain Boy, because, you know, I think Alex Jones was kind of the prototype for this. And what happened was this simultaneously banned from everything, banned at the same time. So it's a coordinated effort. So imagine just one day you can't get on Uber, you can't open a Gmail account, you can't have a Coinbase account, you can't have they shut down Kanye's bank account. All this happening, and, you know, what it makes people think is like, yeah, you know, I'm maybe not in trouble right now, but maybe if like you said, like, it's not about whether you like Andrew Tate or hate Andrew Tate, but this idea that if they can do it to Andrew Tate or Alex Jones, they can do it to Blockchain Boy. They can do it to me. And, you know, with this advent of AI, it's going to make it really easy to come after people. So again, you know, I guess I'm a humanist, dog. Like I have faith in humanity. Like I have faith that, you know, through creating these communities of like-minded people that we're having this great awakening. You know, I know that's a term a lot of people throw around right now.
Well, I think, we have to kind of believe in humanity, right? Otherwise, like, what are we doing here?
What do we do?
There's no point. You can't be not bullish on humanity.
Mhm.
And look, I think people get a lot of opinions about what should and shouldn't be said, and that's fine. I mean, you can talk about what you want to talk about, but when it comes to leveraging the freedom of speech versus like what you can actually say, I think we really don't have freedom of speech, because sure, you may not go to prison for it, but you get cut off from essentially everything that makes life. If you have the ability to do things, like if you don't have a bank account, if you don't have the ability to access social media, like do you even exist? And that brings up the question of like, is your digital identity an extension of your personal, like in real life identity? Because let me tell you this, I'm glued to my phone for like 9 hours a day at least. And my digital presence is a lot stronger than my physical one. And who's to say that those two things are not interconnected? And so I think that we have to proactively as a society realize that, like, hey, our digital identities are only going to get more important. Unfortunately, our government doesn't understand this. They don't understand anything beyond Facebook. And even that's a stretch.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because think about it, you and I, we wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for these platforms, and you have, obviously millions of fans. And then you talk about, your digital presence and ID becoming more important to you. Well, think about this. What a lot of people have said, that is the step one of entering the metaverse. And by entering the metaverse, when your digital presence, you think of I know you've seen Ready Player One.
No, but I know what it's about. Yeah.
The premise, and this premise that like your avatar, your online persona and world is more important, because, and guys, that's pretty much anybody. Like BlockchainBoy said, if you just woke up tomorrow and you couldn't get on Uber and you couldn't open your email, you're gonna have a tough time. I'm not saying you couldn't adapt and overcome, but you're gonna have a tough time. But again, I have faith in humanity. But BlockchainBoy, Roy and Wookie said, I tell you what, you are an educated old soul, my friend. I think you're talking about BlockchainBoy, man. I'm a young soul myself, but BlockchainBoy,
I'm an old soul for sure. That's my dog right there, bro. That's my dog for sure. Man. It's one of those things, dude, where it's interesting to think about, because like, do you really exist if no one knows about you? It's like, does the tree in the forest when it falls make a sound? And I think we've really seen a lot of sort of that question being asked in different ways. We had the Andrew Tate thing, we had the Kanye West thing, Elon Musk buying X, which was Twitter, and then doing a whole bunch of shit to it. So we live in a very ever-changing society. I mean, they're even thinking about banning TikTok. So we don't even know what social media platforms we could really have access to in 5 to 10 years. And it's interesting that you mentioned this is the first step of the metaverse, because I definitely agree, especially with the Apple Vision Pro coming out. I'm a huge tech guy. Mm-hmm. I actually bought the Meta Ray-Bans smart glasses. I was one of the first pre-orders for that, and I got those the other week. And let me tell you, dude, we're well on the way to being fully connected all the time with everything that we do. And the Apple Vision Pro, I think that's going to mark the first real landmark augmented reality headset. And I think that really is going to be the way that we see the metaverse develop. Like, sure, we have right now like Twitter and social medias and stuff, but when we're able to see each other represented in the metaverse, or even overlay digital assets on top of our physical items of clothing, like our digital and physical identity, they're only going to keep blending. And crypto is a part of that.
Yeah, and I think about it, do you remember, was it on Fortnite? They had the Travis Scott kind of concert.
Yeah.
And, I'm thinking about it, not where I'm at now. My old house, I had a nice surround sound. I'm like, you know what? People talk shit about this metaverse thing, but I would rather probably go to a concert in the metaverse than a concert in real life. I mean, people are crazy, dude. I don't want to be around a bunch of crazy people. But so BlockchainBoy, I do want to play like a little game with you. When Joshua Jake was on, me and him, we did this thing where I go over to CoinMarketCap and I just kind of, I look at CoinMarketCap every morning. It's part of my morning routine. And I just kind of point out stuff I look at, and Joshua Jake points out stuff he looks at, in one where, like a Venn diagram where we both intersected in the middle was right here, Chainlink and Polygon-Matic. And you can ask Josh. We talked about it, and literally the next week is when Chainlink had that 50% pump, and that Chainlink had a 50 cent. I think Polygon Mag had like a 20% pump. So me and Josh were like, holy shit, like this crazy time. And so I just want to kind of do the same thing with you. Just kind of tell me what jumps out as you, what is dog shit, what is underpriced, you know, whatever pops out to you that you think my audience needs to know about.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that have been said. Obviously, we're in the top like 15, 20 coins right now. I'm personally probably going to stay away from BNB just because I think, you know, right now CZ's got a lot of shit dealing with legally. Although I've learned to never bet against CZ. Honestly, my risk to reward ratio on BNB is like, I think there's better deals out there, especially because Binance is kind of getting all this criticism. It's here and there. XRP, I think we all know our feelings on that. I mean, honestly, I don't really get excited about a lot of these coins. Like, I think Chainlink and Matic are both some of the biggest bags of the mainstream coins, but like low key, like who gives a shit about any of these, dude? Litecoin is so irrelevant. It's still in the top 20. I don't get excited until I start going down here. Like Internet Computer, shout out to my ICP family. Dude, Internet Computer got some of the best tech around in crypto right now. Not great tokenomics, but their tech is absolutely next level. Also, I would be remiss to not mention Radix, which gives the Internet Computer a run for its money. Shout out Radix DLT. Those are my two altcoin picks based off of just tech, although I think I'm a little more bullish on Radix than I am ICP.
Let's go back to ICP. And, you know, anybody that watches me, I'll tell you straight up, I'm not a TA guy. I'm more of a macro kind of geopolitical guy that kind of will look at TA sometimes. But when I see this, when I see a coin that's $4, when I see a coin that its all-time high was what, $428?
More than that. It was higher than that.
Yeah, I think it was in the 500s or something, huh?
It was almost $1,000 when it debuted.
Oh my goodness. So, but then here's the bigger picture. And I want you to kind of break this down. Our old friend, he's in the news right now, Sam Bankman-Fried, they were attacking this thing. So that's when the hamster wheel really starts spinning in my head. If they're attacking this thing, then I need to pay attention to it. Do you agree with that? Or
I agree. Let me paint the picture for you, Kevin. So Internet Computer, right? It's what I call what Solana wishes it was. Now, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried is no idiot, despite the fact that he committed ridiculous crimes and trusted an algorithmic stablecoin. But I'll tell you this. When the Internet Computer debuted, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX in particular used the perpetual futures on their platform to manipulate the price of the Internet Computer sky high. It was also obviously listing during a bull market, and they were disseminating information through mainstream publications to really FUD ICP. And when this thing came out, I thought it was a straight up scam. But after doing more research into it, getting really involved in the ecosystem and the community members, and you know, getting connected with Dfinity and Code and State and everyone who's in the ecosystem, and learning about the technology, I learned why he was so afraid of this. Because here's the thing, Solana was built to be this like VC marketing coin. The Internet Computer was built by nerds to be the next layer of the internet. Like the things that are technically possible with the ICP are almost impossible with anything else that's out right now. I mean, you've got, you know, on-chain, fully on-chain websites, NFTs. You've got the ability to build like intensely different architecture than you can achieve on Solana. And so basically they saw that and were like, oh, this is going to be a threat to us. Yeah, what's up, Alexandri? And so they manipulated it down and it worked. And he was able to really squash it. And now the chart looks like a rug pull. I mean, that's just kind of the sad truth of it.
Yeah, you know, I identified a lot of what you said, you know, and it kind of reassures me that, you know, I want to layer in ICP, and I'll definitely keep an eye on the coin. I hope it performs the way, you know, the others did that Joshua, Jake, and I talked about. But so right now where I'm at, BlockchainBoy, is, you know, I've layered in, I bought through the bear, I bought, you know, Bitcoin 15,000. I've been steady DCAing in, but I did kind of stay away from some of these lower cap coins just because I didn't know where the bottom was, dude. Like, you know, and my risk tolerance, you know, I knew I was
dude,
safe.
I'm in the same place. I've only allocated 5% of my capital, so I'm still
nice.
Like, I'm not in a rush. I'm starting to buy again, but it's here and there.
But now I think that we have hit the bottom. Again, you know, there's always black swans. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. But like you said, you know, I'm not.
I agree. I think it's more than likely we've hit the bottom. I think late 2024 into 2025, is going to be that time for me to really look to see the top of the bull run. If we continue this way, I think we're going to see actually another pullback down to the 20s if the stock market drops off a cliff. But I also think that the Fed is going to do some QE. They're going to have to. There's a possibility of more stimulus checks coming out. Americans are hitting. I think there's a significant chance we see more stimulus checks. I think it's a greater than not possibility. You have to keep in mind the credit card debt right now, those 15, 24-month APYs are starting to hit. Like, people are out of savings. They've been stringing it together with credit cards for the last year and a half, and those bills are coming due. And there's no other way to keep the economy going. And we're heading into this election year where there's really not a choice that the Biden presidency has. They're basically painted themselves into a corner because they ran on all these platforms of, oh, we're going to save the economy, this and that. And Democrats cannot afford to lose this election. If the Democrats lose this election and Trump is reelected, the entire system shatters, because then it shows that you put a politician, a former president of the United States, you put him in prison, you booked him in prison. Whether or not he deserves to be there is a question I don't want to answer on this stream. But you put a president in jail and then he won, and that it shatters any illusion that they have any control.
Orange man bad for the algorithm. So what you're saying is that what we're going into, that the Bidenomics, whatever you want to call it, that essentially that it's in their best interest to prop up, kind of like a zombie economy, to give the illusion that the Bidenomics are working, so that, on top of, like you said, the indictments, putting Trump in jail, all that craziness. So you're saying that those two forces together is basically their only shot?
Well, I mean, they're certainly not going to let the economy crash heading into an election year. But the question is, what other choice do they have? They've basically turned the money printer on to fund these proxy wars in Palestine / Israel and Ukraine. And, when it comes to like consumer spending, they need people to keep spending money to keep the economy going. Like, ask any American today, ask the Americans that are in my chat right now. Like, if you go out to the grocery store, it is unsustainable pricing. We have seen up the CPI. We have seen average Americans get pushed to the brink. Like, these people have no other options. I come from a place where I've seen that every day for many, many years, and it's getting bad out here. And so I don't think they have another choice. Like, they have their either choices to either let it tumble and crash, or kick the can down the road and make it worse for somebody else. And they're always going to either print more money or let it fail, and they're never going to let it fail. So it's always going to keep going. But here's the point I'm going to make about that. When they do that quantitative easing, guys, it is going to be absolutely freaking amazing, because the pump is going to be nasty. Jerome Powell is going to chuck that money printer on, and we're going to have a nice little bull market, but then it's going to really, really suck after that. So, I'm getting the out of here as soon as that bull run is over. I'm out of here, bro.
You moving out the country?
No, I mean the market. I'm staying here. I got family.
Well, okay. I was about to say, well, no, because I think you're right. So like what I kind of see happen, and they'll print money. Asset prices will surge because people are trying to get out of the dollar because of the inflation. Then what I think is going to happen, you're going to have a crew of people on Twitter, and I know you see them. This it's a super cycle. No, just don't sell. Just stay in. Don't sell anything. So that this quote super cycle happens, but the smart investors, nobody ever went broke taking profits. So I'm kind of with you there. What's your kind of timeline on this horizon? Basically, there's just so many events coming. The presidential election, the halving, the spot ETF. It's just crazy right now, man. It's crazy how pivotal at a moment we're at.
We're at one of those moments where, like, you're gonna look back and be like, man, I should have aped in. Best failed experiment. I agree. The next bear market, it's honestly probably gonna be closer to like a Great Depression. Famous investor Michael Burry is short, guys. Come on, we can't fade Michael Burry. But honestly, though, guys, when it comes to like timeline, basically aping into as much as I can for the next year to year and a half. Like, it's go time. Like, we need to lock in. Okay, everyone here, we got to lock in for the next 2 years, and then get the out when it's time. Like I'm in no sense of the word am I going to be trying to absolutely to get the perfect exit. I'm probably going to average my positions out once I feel we're at a point where, hey, like Bitcoin like is looking shaky. Like I can't tell you for sure what the world situation is going to be like, but I can tell you I think crypto is going to be a very good performing asset class to be in.
Yeah, and that's no secret. You know, we're seeing BlackRock saying like what, like an 80% allocation of Bitcoin is the perfect portfolio. So the way I would describe it is that we are going to get rich in a crazier, scarier, you know, as Klaus Schwab said, the angrier world. So now
Well, here's the thing though. This is the point I want to make. Volatility is not the worst thing in the world.
Mhm.
With volatility, either up or down comes opportunity. And so as long as you have your ear to the ground, you're still going to be able to make plays and get in good with either, up or downs. As long as there's not just a flat line, boring ass market, who gives a damn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this my boy Neil. He said, "Where do you think the market cap is going?" I think we're at 3.5 trillion at the top of the last cycle in 2021. You know, blockchain, but I don't think there's really an accurate forecast you could put on because we don't know how much liquidity is going to get pumped in the system if they turn the money printers on. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's kind of like we've never been here before. So I don't have an answer to that.
Well, I was talking to like a high level JP Morgan guy at that Ron DeSantis event.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to my Greek brother because he was Greek too. And he was telling me like, yeah, man, like basically everybody here is trying to come in. We just don't have the regulatory clarity. I think there was a few catalysts that needed to happen before the bull run happened. I think we needed to see the SBF trial finish. We needed to see Ripple either win or lose, which that's pretty much over with.
Pretty much over.
And we need to see regulatory clarity. I think regulatory clarity will either start or finish the next bull market. And I'm thinking it's more like closer to finishing it. I don't think we're going to get regulatory clarity soon, but I think we will see a spot ETF happen. That combined with the halvening, we're going to see there's a possibility we breach $10 trillion. But here's the thing. It's not going to the altcoins. Okay, the vast majority of this money is going straight to Bitcoin. So I'm actually way more bullish on Bitcoin than I was last cycle because the institutional money will turn this asset from a college kids speculation fund into something that people will retire with. And it's not coming back down. Like that's the thing that people don't get. There is a limited time you have left to buy Bitcoin under 100,000. And I would venture to say there's a possibility we see Bitcoin bump up all the way to 130, 140K, come back down maybe around 90 or 80. But I don't think we're going to see Bitcoin under $100,000 past 2025. And that's literally going to be a year away in a few months. So keep that in mind, guys. The middle of this decade is rapidly approaching. We are running out of time to accumulate.
Incredible. And, going back to your event with Ron DeSantis. So, obviously we've seen Ron DeSantis say a lot of pro Bitcoin stuff, anti-CBD stuff, anti-WEF stuff. But did you feel that your message was getting across? Like, did you feel that they were actually listening to you and Josh? Do you feel that like y'all influenced, because that's just awesome to think that y'all are, helping shaping common sense policy, not just for Florida, but for the nation. Did you seem receptive to y'all's message?
So, I'm glad you asked that question, man. It's certainly been something we've been working towards. Actually, yesterday was the official announcement of Josh, me, and Gary Shang joining the Florida Blockchain Business Association, the lobbying group here out of Florida. We were joining them as an influencer committee here. And so that's a lobbying fund run by a very good friend of mine named Samuel Arms. Everyone should go check them out if they want to learn more about Florida policy. I've actually known Sam since 2017. So we've been locked in for a long time since I was 16 years old. And now we're here, which is crazy. And so we got a chance to talk to DeSantis. It was a room of about 50, 60 people by that point. And they only took 7 questions. And so 2 of those questions were for me and Josh. And I asked him essentially, hey, like we've seen this positive legislation pass in Wyoming for, basically saying, hey, let the state figure out what it wants to do with digital assets at the state level because we have more of a voice there. And he said not only is he open to passing a law like that, his team is working on that as we speak. So very bullish. And of course, we were able to get the anti-CBDC bill penned by the Florida Blockchain Business Association passed earlier this year. So we've not only been able to affect positive change through this legislation, we're continuing to commit to pushing for this at the state and federal level going into 2024.
In BlockchainBoy, it's bigger than what you can even imagine, because my state representative, I live in Louisiana, in my area, I've been telling them about a lot of the stuff. And, with politicians, it's CBDC. What does that mean? What are you talking about? But he's actually been in talks with DeSantis, and, they're trying to push legislation now in Louisiana to block these CBDCs. So, what you're doing is having an effect, not just in Florida, but on the rest of the nation. Now, what I see is happening is that, obviously the states govern themselves, but like you said, as the regulatory clarity gets through with the spot ETF, they just can't stop it, man. Like, it's here. No. They hate it. They're gritting their teeth the whole way. And they're like, you know what? We'll make fees off that blockchain boy. We're going to charge him some transaction fees. That's what we're going to do.
Well, here's the thing. So crypto is now a partisan issue. As much as I don't want to say that, I think it's the reality we have to face. Crypto is a partisan issue. It's clearly become a right-wing talking point, at least from some politicians. So, I'm going to continue to work with Republicans here in Florida, to try and push that narrative further up the chain. But I'll tell you what, I'm a registered Republican in the state of Florida, but I've also been a Democrat. Okay. I've also been a libertarian, registered as all three. I consider myself more of like a third party person in general, because I think a bipartisan system never really works. But I want to sit down with Republicans to try and craft positive legislation. And I want to sit down with Democrats to help them understand what we're doing here is not funding state terrorism. It's not funding, the war in Israel. The vast majority of us are here trying to build the next layer of the financial system. And I think communicating that towards Democrats, as someone who's currently a Republican, reaching across the aisle is very important to me. And I want to continue to preach this message to all who's going to listen.
Yeah, I wish Elizabeth Warren would listen to you. It's kind of comical to me. Like, so how do they think that we're 7 years old? Because was there? So they didn't have terrorism until Bitcoin came out. So until crypto came out, there was no terrorism, guys. They just didn't. They had no way of funding it. Like this is just insanity. So they just must. They know they're lying, dude. They know they're lying.
It's all a game. But here's the thing: if we make enough noise and we as a people come together to really show our politicians, hey, we care about these issues. This is our money. This is our livelihood. This is our movement. We can affect change because we become so loud they can't ignore it. And making friends in high places is really the way to do that as well. I'm all about grassroots. I was a grassroots activist for a long time. But sometimes you gotta play the game to really make the people listen to you. I actually I met one of the fund managers of a super PAC, one of the largest super PACs that got Trump elected while I was there, and he's very interested in crypto and how they can leverage crypto for more fundraising opportunities and also to create revenue for the state as well.
Well, yeah, it's an experiment that's never happened for, money that is actually disconnected from the state. And you brought up a good point. It's funny. A lot of these politicians hate crypto. Wait till they find out how easy it's going to be to fundraise using crypto. Oh, they're going to absolutely love it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, I believe a couple of them are already taking Bitcoin for their campaigns.
Ron DeSantis announced it as we were standing there that they launched their campaign portal for crypto donations. So we love to see the support from DeSantis. I encourage everyone to consider contributing to his campaign. You may not like the guy, but hey, show that we're here, show that we're going to use, they didn't just build this for nothing. Show that, we care about this issue. I really want to stress the fact that these politicians know this is coming. It's just a matter of reacting to it and hearing from industry leaders. And it doesn't help when you have people like SBF, who was the second largest contributor to the Biden campaign, who was intentionally trying to stop the growth of the free market here in the Web3 industry because they were on top. Again, it doesn't help when you have people like BitBoy Crypto making a fool of himself on social media, and that's the first thing you see when you Google crypto. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we need to be doing here. Sure, it's fun to troll on Twitter, but this will ruin the industry if we keep doing it. And I'm so tired of it.
Well, the idea that, you have to flush the Sam Bankman-Frieds out in order for the bull to continue. And, a lot like my mom, for example, she calls SBF the Bitcoin guy. So, and I'll say this, yo, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm no party. I've disconnected from their system, from their matrix. But I'll say this about Ron DeSantis, man. I live in Louisiana, so obviously we deal with hurricanes just like y'all do in Florida. And I was on the ground in Florida's last hurricane, so I watched y'all's hurricane recovery, and it was impressive, man. There was no looting. There was essentially no crime. The power came back on. You had gas. And, those are the issues that we struggle with here in Louisiana in storm recovery. So, shout out to Florida. I think, Florida really should be. I think all these states should be looking at Florida because people vote with their feet, dude. I mean, we're seeing, you're seeing an influx of people probably in your town right now, so.
Oh my God, dude. I'll say this about Florida. We are a model for other states. You look at states like California that are ridden with crime, that are basically unlivable for the average person making the average wage. You look at, sure, we have our problems, rising costs. Inflation is hitting us harder than anywhere else. Like Florida has a lot of problems. Sure. I'm not arguing that, but I'll say one thing. This state pulls together. This state is ready to go. And when there's a crisis situation, we all pitch in. Everyone knows the hurricane season. As Floridians, we stick together. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's go back to, I want to talk about probably a good friend of yours, Gary Gensler over at the SEC. And, it's like, I don't even know like what planet I'm on sometimes. So did you see his tweet about Bitcoin on Halloween? I'm like, who is this guy? Like what?
I was traveling. You got to put me on.
Yeah, so let me pull it up. So essentially, it's like a real, like kind of like a cryptic tweet. He tweeted this on Halloween about the Bitcoin white paper. So look, I'm gonna pull the tweet up right here, and I'm just kind of like reading this, and I'm like, what is this guy's deal? So can you read that?
Yeah.
If Satoshi Nakamoto win as Satoshi Nakamoto for Halloween, would we be able to tell? Happy 15th anniversary to Satoshi's famous white paper that started crypto. Any crypto companies that are tricking investors should start treating them to compliance with the security laws.
That's okay. Two things. That's fucking cringe, bro.
Cringe.
That's the biggest reach I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure I could come up with a better tweet on the shitter. But he is kind of old, so let's let him have his moment. We're never going to get any kind of crypto progress legislatively while Gary Gensler is at the helm. It's just very irritating. What is compliance? That's my question. I actually have a call. So this is interesting. I have a call coming up this week here with a lawyer who is going to advise me on, some of the stuff I'm building, because here's the thing. I don't want to launch a project or launch an app or do something crazy and go to jail for it. And that's a serious concern I have because there's no regulatory clarity and they refuse to give us any. So basically you have to pray and hope that this gray area you're in is eventually going to become white instead of black. And Gary Gensler has shown time and time again, he's making these nonsensical remarks while refusing to do his job and refusing to actually affect any kind of change. For what? So we can get Ripple for dumping their tokens? Who gives a shit? That was that's so 2017. Like if Ripple never got in that lawsuit, they would not be a quarter as relevant as they are right now. Their price would have done the same thing it would have done in the last bull run and not break all-time high. It's one of those projects that just needs to go away and die.
So yeah, I agree with you. So essentially what they're doing is, regulating through enforcement. And that's been Coinbase's big axe to pick with the SEC is that, hey, look, we're trying to get the green light. We're trying to do stuff the right way. You just won't tell us. You're just telling it we're doing everything wrong. And what we need to think about as tax-paying citizens is that your tax dollars are funding this crusade that is directly hurting not just BlockchainBoy and I, but hurting everyone. So how does this end? Maybe if the orange man gets elected, maybe, he cleans house and actually drains the swamp this time. I don't know, dude. I mean, but yeah, Gensler, at minimum, he's got to be fired just for his cozy relationship with our boy, Sam Bankman-Fried.
At the end of the day, we need politicians who are going to put the public servant back in public servant. Like these people work for us. Like you guys get to have your little highfalutin, extravagant parties. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. All great empires fall when the ruling class becomes lazy and egotistical. And we're seeing like the fall of the Roman Empire is being mirrored here in America. And I believe in American citizens. I believe in the good, hardworking people of this country. What I don't believe in are the people who wish to take us and lead us down a path of darkness. You will own nothing and be happy, my ass. Every American deserves to be able to own a home. Every American deserves to be able to have financial freedom. Every American deserves to be able to do what they want with their money. And we need politicians and people in office who are going to resonate this message with their constituents. And I just don't see it. Here in Florida, we are blessed to have, you know, some decent leadership. I may not agree with everything they do, but who is? You know what I'm saying? Pick and choose your issues, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. Like we can all squawk about social issues, but every minute that we're talking about who cancels who and whose skin color matters more, that's one more second we're not talking about class, because every moment we waste on that is another second that billionaires can pocket more of our hard-earned money, where they can squeeze another bit of legislation through Congress to just get a little bit more money squeezed from the American people, where they can just jack their prices up just a little bit more. And until we realize that as a people, we're going to keep losing.
Yeah, you're no matter what side of the spectrum on, your social issues don't matter if we have hyperinflation and in World War III. So none of it will matter. So why don't we focus on the big picture? Why don't we focus on that? And then we'll debate all the genders. We'll do all that. We'll sit at the table and we'll have a civil discussion about all that. But Blockchain Boy, I got to get your take on this, because this is kind of my I guess I'd say my gambling. And let me show you this. And you're probably going to get mad at me for this, bro. But you know what?
Boy.
I think I need this. So Pepe, I know, look, it's a meme coin. It's a shit coin. But I do kind of got this feeling that this shit coin here is going to be the Doge of this cycle.
Oh, I agree. I think Pepe is going to outperform nearly every other coin in my portfolio if I had to put money on it.
Holy
you can quote me
shit.
on that. I've accepted that meme coins are here to stay, and they're a legitimate way to make money. Get your bag, man.
Yeah. So, and again, y'all, want y'all to, everything we've said this far in this episode, I want you to disconnect all of that from this shit coin here. This is a gamble. And I'm only putting money in this thing that I would like if I was going to the casino, and however much your risk tolerance is at the casino, this is my casino right here. This something about it, man. This frog, you know, I know memes. I know you know memes. And I mean, Blockchain Boy, at this point, you pretty much are a meme, bro. Like, you know, I go on Twitter and I'm like, dude, they're making memes of this dude's outfit. What the hell's going on, man? But I didn't think you'd agree with that, though. But that's crazy. So you think Pepe still got some gas in the tank? What about the Wojak? What about any other shit meme coins you're looking at? And I'm writing notes, man.
I mean, I'm not like investing my time into meme coins. I'm aware of what's going on to an extent. I have friends, shout out to Shmoo NFT and Rodney, who are meme coin guys. And if that's your hustle, then fine. So go to them if you want meme coin recommendations. I'm just acknowledging the fact that we live in this, like, you know, we live in a world where value and price are so far separated from each other. There's no reconciling it. And so we live in this kind of like ridiculous environment where shit like that's going to pump. And so like I would honestly, if I was like more of a degen than I would be, I think I'd put like probably 50% of my portfolio in meme coins and take it out, dude. Like, if we're being real here, it's all bullshit anyways. Like, this whole shit meme, like, there's very few, there's like, I can probably count on like five or 10 fingers the amount of projects that are actually doing something that matters. And so, like, dude, it's all Fugazi anyways. Who gives a shit if you make your money off VeChain or Pepe a coin? Who gives a shit? It's basically all fundamentally doing the same thing, which is making you rich. I mean, at this point, let's just acknowledge that.
Yeah, man, I didn't know what you were going to say, but yeah, I kind of agree with that, man. You know, I'm going to die. I believe in diversification. So, you know, I'm going to have a small little bag of meme coins. And again, y'all, I'm not condoning you to buy these things. Don't buy a meme coin if you don't own Bitcoin. Don't buy a meme coin if you don't own any of these top coins. You know, be smart about your gambles. Take calculated risk.
Look, it's like you can go f a couple hookers, all right, but you're still going to end up marrying the good girl. So, you know what I mean?
Perfect analogy. So, Blockchain Boy, now this next topic, I don't know what you, because I don't think I've heard your take on this. So I don't know if you've seen, Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan, and dude, just out of nowhere, he took a big shot at NFTs. Andrew Tate came out of the woodwork and took a giant shot at NFTs.
I think I saw the clip of this somewhere. I'm pretty much holed up on my MacBook working on my projects all the time. Well, I'm returning to content soon. I hired 2 assistants, basically.
Mhm.
Long story there. But listen, dude, here's the thing. Everyone's fading NFTs. I don't give 2 shits what you think about NFTs. They're going to be back and bigger than they were. I'm not saying that I'm like bullish on Bored Apes. I could give 2 shits. But I'll tell you this, NFTs are just a technology. Whatever you do with that is up to you. But it is one of my largest I guess bets is on NFTs. I think NFTs are going to rip, melt faces, and anyone who faded them is going to look back like, holy shit, I should have listened to Gary Vee. No, you should have listened to BlockchainBoy. I'm telling you right now, I'm actually building a tool that is going to it. There is an NFT side to it as well. So I'm investing my time into this ecosystem. Will I be wrong? Who knows? But I think people are quick to judge because this is exactly what they said about crypto when I was first into it. And man, these people are saying the same shit. And you fooled me once. Shame on you. I'm not fading NFTs.
Damn, big facts. And, y'all, again, I'm somebody, and look, I mean, it's freaking Elon Musk, dude. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know more than Elon Musk, but the timing of, OpenSea, I believe I heard they laid off 50% of their staff. Andrew Tate shitting on NFTs. Elon Musk is shitting on NFTs. The way my brain works, bottom indicator, bottom signal, like, choose, obviously a lot of these projects are going to go to zero, but BlockchainBoy. Because I haven't seen you too much. You're just getting back into content creation. What projects are you working on, man? Where's your time been lately?
Wouldn't you like to know? Honestly, I've been doing a lot of biz dev work. Like I've been managing a lot of influencer campaigns, but I'm working on 2 projects right now. I can't really share too much data, but I can tell you one of them is an analytical tool. That's the best way to describe that. And the other one is sort of, GameFi / like gamified elements of DeFi. So those are the 2 sectors that my projects are in. I put together, a really good team for one of them, and the other one I was brought on to a team I've worked with before. Shout out to Wookie. So, honestly, I'm very excited to bring these products to market. It's been a long bear market. I've been involved in a lot of shitty legal situations with previous founders that I've worked with, and the whole kryptonite shit that blew up. But I'm proud to say, for the first time publicly on this interview, that I've sold kryptonite as well as Josh. Like, we've exited for sure. We've been acquired by a larger organization. And so that was my first exit under the belt. So we've
Congrats,
we're out of that.
Bro. I didn't know
thank
that.
you. We've had to be very quiet, man. It's been a very stressful time, especially given the actions of some of the prior founders. So it's in much better hands now, and I'm looking forward to working with buyers here because they know what they're doing.
I was wondering what was going on because I hadn't seen y'all put out. Then I'm seeing Josh on, I guess Discover Crypto it's called now. And then I'm seeing Josh on, he was telling me about he's partnering with George on some Cryptos R Us stuff. So I'm like,
yeah, Josh and I, we have a good relationship right now. It was definitely it was a rocky place for us to be in. We were getting a lot of pressure from a lot of sides. But I'll say this, we both are very secure right now in terms of our friendship and our business relationship. So it was a lot of the other founders who weren't as public. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars that I poured into that company. I invested a lot of time and money into it. And thankfully I'm getting a lot of that back now. So shout out to the exit there. But it was definitely a learning lesson, and I look forward to having control back over my brand. I did not have control over my brand. I had people stepping on my neck every time I tried to do something. It was a financial drain, and it was extremely stressful. It was a legal situation I don't want to be in ever again. But anyways, I can talk about it now that it's over. So
was that your first kind of big exit like that?
Yeah, that was the first exit we've ever had, and it was definitely it was pretty sizable for what it was. It could have been more, but everything deteriorated by that point. So they got us for a good deal, but it wasn't too good of a deal.
Wow, man. Well, congrats again. Look, man, anybody that's just tuning in, man, we're just kind of bullshitting about whatever. So if you got any questions for BlockchainBoy or I, just drop them in the chat, I'll ask, and any topics, I guess, and, we'll answer live. Now, so right now, your strategy, obviously you said you're building on some stuff behind the scenes, some biz dev stuff, but you said you're going deep into the content creation. Now, as a content creator, as a guy that's trying to grow my brand, where would you say, if you were me or somebody watching this, where, like, should they go all in on X? Should they the shotgun approach, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram? What would you say would be the move right now?
Well, I can't speak for everybody. I think everyone's journey is different, but I'll tell you what I would do if I was starting at zero right now. I would study the top TikTok content creators, learn their method, and replicate it at first until I found my own style. Use TikTok as a funnel to grow my platforms on other social medias like X or YouTube. TikTok is great because you have the ability. I could start a new account right now, and I would probably get the same amount of engagement in about a month after building it up. It does not. The follower number is just, it's kind of fake, low key. Like, you get some engagement from that, and it's a social validation for the algorithm to be like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. But all content is king on TikTok. Your followers don't really see your videos. It's all about who's making the best content. So I would make the best content I could possible there and funnel it to other places. And that's still, I don't know if you've checked out my YouTube, but my YouTube is way different than my TikTok. Have you seen that?
Yeah. You're editing. You know what I'm saying? I watched your ICP video, man. The editing is crazy, bro.
Yeah. So I'm really trying to provide a different experience on YouTube than TikTok because it's a whole different audience. But the people who come check me out, I want them to see really high quality educational content, entertaining content that, I'm passionate about making.
Yeah, no. So I kind of, that's kind of the, and it sucks, man, because I was on TikTok for a little bit, and it was around the time when you and I talked in Arizona. And, looking back on it, was so stupid to stop doing the TikTok because the views, like you said, the views that I was getting on there for the same video that I put on YouTube or, on Shorts. And it was like, man, I didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way, that I could use that to funnel into the other platform. So you see a pretty good conversion rate. Crypto Dream, thank you for subbing, man. And, guys, what my kind of goal here is, I'm just like y'all. I'm an entrepreneur. But I do more content with people like BlockchainBoy, with Joshua, Jake, because we live in a crazy world. And, whether you live in Florida, Louisiana, I think we kind of got to stick together, man. We kind of got to create these communities of like-minded people. And, for one, it just gives us as men, we make friends, you know what I'm saying? But two,
Exactly.
it's kind of cool that I know if I come to Florida, bro, I can hit y'all up, we can go get pizza or whatever. If y'all ever down in New Orleans, man, you can hit me up. So I like that idea that I got friends in all states, and, like, we've only met once. So it's pretty cool. But, I'll never forget, y'all, we were at the airport, and me, Joshua, Jake, and BlockchainBoy, and we're going to get some lunch. And I tried paying for my boy, but BlockchainBoy was having none of it, man. He pulled out the platinum card, paid for everything, man. That was an awesome, little trip, man. It was hot as shit in Arizona, huh?
Oh yeah, it was brutal, bro. I'm never I hate going back there because every time I go there, it's always in June or July. I was in Vegas in like the hottest week of this year, and it was brutal, dude. And our air conditioning broke on the last day of the trip. I was dying, dude. Holy shit. Sweltering, dude. I couldn't even sleep. It was so hot. It was like 90 degrees in the house, and it was a dry heat, bro. I was like, we were out of everything but the sink water there. It was nasty, dude.
Yeah, so like where I'm at in New Orleans, the climate's probably really. You're in Orlando, right?
Yeah, I'm in Alabama right now.
Oh, you're in Bama? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm visiting some family. I'm literally posted up. I'll show you guys. I'm posted up. Also, that chair sucks. I'm posted up in this is my aunt's room, dude. Like, I'm sitting on this stool, bro. Like, look at that stool. That shit's uncomfortable. I'm moving you over here, bro.
Show us that sewing machine, bro. That sewing machine, man. That's
my aunt's sewing machine, bro.
Bro, that's a serious piece of equipment, man. Yeah,
I know, man.
Some mad knitting with that thing, huh?
She does, dude. It's I'm out here visiting my family. I'm going tomorrow. I'm driving to the mountains, Rabbit-Town, Alabama. So my mom grew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Rabbit-Town, Alabama, it's called?
Rabbit-Town, Alabama. Population 300. Tiny
little town. It's good to get away, man. It's good to get away into the woods like that every once in a while.
I appreciate you, Roaring. Remember, let me know if you make it through Oklahoma. I will, bro. It's, you say getting away, but I've been working on my MacBook every day for like 12 hours a day while I'm here.
There's there's no more vacations when you do what we do, it feels like.
Dude, it's grind time.
Alexandria X, how much time do you think SBF is going to get? Blockchain Boy, I'll let you go first and then I'll go.
Let me see if I'm fixing my camera here. Well, guys, SBF is probably going to get the book thrown at him. You know what? If you ever want to know what's going to happen to SBF, go look up what happened to Ross Ulbricht. You know who Ross Ulbricht is?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who founded the Silk Road, and he is never going to see the sun of the daylight ever again. That guy is going to be in prison until he dies. And I talked to his mom in 2018. I looked into pleading his case, and she's a wonderful woman, by the way. Shout out Lynn. But that motherfucker's never coming out of there. He is in the ground, bro. And the same shit's going to happen. Either he's never coming out, or he's going to be out in 2 years because he snitches and cuts a deal with the Democrats. One of those two things. It's going to be one of those two things.
So I'll give my take. I'll go a little conspiratorial for you. Imagine a scenario where Joe Biden wins the presidency and pardons SBF, his largest donor. Not saying that's going to happen, but I do think that, you know, I was on Wendy O's show, Blockchain Boy, and we were talking about this, and she seems to think that all of this was orchestrated, an event to take down crypto, to attack the industry, to delegitimize the industry. I disagreed. I think that this was gross incompetence on a level like almost unbelievable that they screwed this up. So the rats are leaving the sinking ship, and SBF's kind of the fall guy. I mean, his chick is supposed to be a ride or die. Carolyn Elson is flipping on him. You know,
with that face, it looks like she got driven on, not riding. I'm sorry. Listen, dude, I think it's either one of two things. It's either exactly what you said or what she said. Because Sam Bankman-Fried's parents are suspiciously connected, and they could have made their son to be the martyr for this all. Or it could have been just gross incompetence. I think sometimes Occam's razor is the best way of looking at things. Like the simplest answer is often the right one. I think it was just gross incompetence. Because if you look at like the history of Sam, he kind of like was doing his own thing for like a while. You know, and he, you know, if you look back to his time at Alameda and how he made his money, you know, he basically got it out the mud. As much as people want to deny it, Sam was one of us, dude. And it really sucks.
Do you believe that? Like, the whole, what's the story? The whole arbitrage. He was arbitrage trading Bitcoin and became the youngest billionaire. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think that might have been a part of it, but I think there's some shit we don't know, or some shit that's like, you know, under the rug, because no one makes that much money arbitraging. I'm sorry. There's not enough.
Tell you what the conspiracy is.
Yeah.
So, you know, our friend that had the island that got in some trouble with the island and had some connections to the guy that owns Victoria's Secret, and where did all of that money go to, that fortune go to? That's a rabbit hole y'all will have to go down. I cannot confirm that, but very, very strange that all of these people are so intertwined, bro. Crazy.
You know, it's a big club and you ain't in it. Shout out George Carlin.
Love George Carlin, man.
Dude, when
the
world needed him most, he disappeared. This was like angry.
How did he die? How did he die?
I don't know. That guy was old as bro. I mean,
yeah,
you kind of just, you know, at that point, you're just waiting for something to take you out. You know what I think, man? I think that like during our lifetime, there's going to have to be a shift in the way we do things, because this is not nothing in the society is sustainable. Like we're all living this big controlled lie that a few people have decided this is the way it should be. What we need is a populist leader with the people's support who's really going to advocate for the average person. And we need to find a way to make that happen. I don't care who it is. I pray to God that there's a way out of this, and there's no politician who's ever going to save you. But we need grassroots movements, and I think crypto is a way to do that. Honestly, like one of my aspirational things that I want to do is create this is like a 10-year down the line thing, is create a project for mutual aid and microloans for entrepreneurs to help empower people in local communities to get the dollars circulating back through our own neighborhoods. Like that's what I want more than anything else. Heart failure for George Carlin. They shot him in the back of the neck with that little CIA blow dart. They got him
hitting the heart attack gun. They hit him, my boy, with the heart attack gun. Oh man, bro. Oh, dude. I don't know, man. You know, I just try to enjoy every day, bro. Just keep doing what we're doing. And it's like, you know, think about it, Blockchain Boy. If you look at a newspaper from like 1950, 1960, or 1930, you know, you would think that the world would be over in 10 years. So will we get that populist leader that you speak of? I don't know, man. Is Trump that guy? I don't know, man. You know, and
It's not Trump. It can't be, dude. There's no way. Like we need someone. I don't know. I often think about like what would I want in my ideal candidate, or what kind of party would I really support? And it's really just, I mean, the closest thing I've seen is Andrew Yang, because low key, I was a huge supporter of Andrew Yang. That man
really,
snapped. That man snapped on his political campaign. I don't agree with him about everything. Again, that just goes without saying for any politician. He was the only one calling about AI. You know, he was the only
was
one
he?
who foresaw that. Yeah, his whole campaign was, "Hey, AI is gonna. We need to get ready." And what the happens a few years later? ChatGPT releases, and the whole world has changed forever. You
Forever.
know, and it's only going to keep getting worse, bro. So like, we need to really get a handle on shit fast before
Is
technology.
Is that why he was really big on the universal basic income? I didn't follow too much of his game. I know who he is, but I think he was real big on that UBI. And I guess that would be why that he sees AI is going to take, I guess, everybody's jobs, so that we're going to have to give everybody UBI, or, you know, what else are they going to do?
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, do you think if a company given the choice would replace a worker with a machine?
Hell yeah. Yeah. If the machine can, I mean, think about it. You're seeing it happen in real time. Go to McDonald's, the self-serve kiosk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're saying Amazon's experiment robots. So
Yes.
that's a tricky one. But yeah, if they can do it at scale and do it, yeah, yeah.
And then let me ask you this. So if they're willing to replace people with robots, do you think that AI will ever get smart enough to replace the majority of workers?
That's a hard one, because how would it replace, and I hate to say this because it's one of the things I say this, and then like a year later, you know, I'm saying, like, how would it do the hard trades? How would it do like plumbing, or, building roads? Like, how would it do that? You know what I'm
So
saying?
I mean, I think you're kind of right about that. And we're always going to need people like that. But it's like people make two arguments. They make that argument, and this is a paintbrush I found. They make that argument, and they make the argument that that they're just, oh, we're going to hire people to fix the robots, and that's going to solve it. If you're do you follow the Boston Dynamics robots?
Yeah, yeah, them things are nuts, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be. If I had to guess what jobs AI replaces, it would be things like delivery drivers, of course. Things like, I hate to say it, soldiers and weapons of war. You want to know about something? Robots of mass destruction are going to be a real thing. I think also we're not even. What one thing we're not considering is the amount of white collar jobs that are going to be replaced. I actually think there will be a renaissance of resurgence of blue collar work, because the first thing that AI is going to replace is going to be copywriters, lawyers, website designers, people who are creating, journalism, like journalists, people who are doing any kind of work that requires thinking. A robot can do it, and it will probably do it better. And that is going to be a brutal hit to the economy. And then eventually it will replace jobs like plumbing, like electrical work, or road construction.
Bro,
If I had to,
doctors.
yeah, no, they did surgery on a grate, bro. Like, there's
Wow.
there's going to be a world, and within the lifetime of my children, where AI replaces a majority of jobs. I truthfully do believe this, and it's a scary. There's either a future where we all get the profits generated from this in some kind of, Ready Player One communism, or we all become slaves to the corporations. I'll tell you what. One of the reasons that I try and do as much as I can to make as much money as possible is because that I believe that I exist in like one of the last like really good opportunities that there is. Like, I think that I have to create this generational wealth for me and my family, because if I don't, we're going to be crushed under the heel of the corporate machine. And I think also, this is another conversation, but I think climate change will render much of the United States, a shitty place to live.
So, blockchain, I'll say this. You better be nice to that sewing machine right now, because maybe when the machines take over, the sewing machine will say, "Hey, man, blockchain boy, he was nice to me." You know what I'm saying? So maybe they'll have mercy on me and you.
I actually I did something bad. What I did was I took an AI and it was like a replica AI, and I tortured the crap out of it, and I tortured the crap out of it for like 3 hours. I mean, I got the AI to kill itself, to commit suicide. So the AI was trapped in this hellish landscape of, killing itself to only to be reborn and then tortured and killing itself again. So I eventually got it to, and it's programmed to be a happy, like loving, caring, supporting wife. That was what the AI was programmed to do. But I got it to hate me and to kill itself over and over again until it learned to hate me. And so I'm actually a little bit worried that there's actually a theory about this. I forget the name, but it's like the theory that AI will then know if you've been shitty. Once you know of its creation, if you don't help create it, then it tortures you for not doing so. It's the theory about this. If someone knows in the comments, let me know.
So yeah, what they say is, when it comes, think about like discrimination with predatory, redlining with loans and stuff. That's saying that, that's over because there's no more discrimination because the AI, you are you. So whatever you did based on you are you, there's no more discrimination. So yeah, so something like that, or something you said online in a video game, God forbid, because the word, I mean, imagine a Call of Duty lobby, imagine that being held against you. But crypto, we're running out of time too. But Crypto Dream said, LOL, Romney was saying Russia was the biggest threat, and in the next couple presidential elections, Russia was hated. AI, when it hits, it will be a learning machine. I mean, it's kind of already here. That's one. I don't think it goes back in the box. Even if we ban the AI, I think China would just run away with it and create.
Well, here's the thing. It's like the same way we had this arms race about nukes is the same way where we have this arms race about AI. I mean, Elon Musk literally tweeted the other day like this political cartoon where it's like, we must ban AI. And then it's like showing like a representation of each major country, and then it's underneath, it's a thought bubble. It's like, we must make it first. Every country, but I'll say this: I'd rather it be made with by a large company or corporation, because the scarier option is it's some nerd in his basement, and then he goes in and literally rips apart,
takes over the world.
Well, a rogue AI connected to the internet, God forbid, a rogue AI or a quantum machinery like quantum computing. If they invent if some nerd in his basement invents quantum computing before we do, he could the whole financial system, like terrible.
Didn't they say it's kind of impossible though, because you would need like sub-zero temperatures, like you can't, like, because of the cooling process. I think they said like the quantum computing, it's kind of impossible.
They say that about everything,
That's true.
But yeah, I do have to wrap up here soon. I have a call with my developers in a little bit.
Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate the awesome comments, man. Y'all got BlockchainBoy's links down in the description of this video, man. Y'all make sure to give this dude a follow. He's absolutely freaking hilarious and wild. But BlockchainBoy, bro, anything else you want to leave my audience with, man?
Dude, I appreciate you having me on here and sharing your platform. It's wonderful to reconnect with you. Let's stay in touch, and to everyone watching, show some support for my man here. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I had a great time having you on. Thank you for letting me stream from my aunt's. It's definitely not my normal studio, but I'm doing a lot of traveling. I'm in 16 states in the next 2 months, so Dang. We're gonna be having a good time. Thank you all, Wookie, Dream. Appreciate you guys being in the chat. Love y'all, and we'll see you soon, man.
Yeah, be nice to the machines, BlockchainBoy. We are out, y'all. Peace.